That is the lash. Who's tried our lash, our new Lash Plus Brow? All right. I love it. Here's why this one is so fun. This is one of the easiest ones to get a before and after picture with. You can do it with any of our products, but this one is so easy because you just you're not showing the rest of your body, because sometimes people don't want to show their body or whatever, but this is just your eyes. So let me actually tell you about it before I talk about before and after pictures. So the Lash Plus Brow Serum is targeting gorgeous eyes and eyebrows. We don't want to forget the eyebrows because there's so many of us who need to fill in or have just really thin brows. Your brows define your whole face, and your eyelashes are beautiful. I love eyelashes. We were talking yesterday about what if I didn't have eyelashes? Horrible. So we want to strengthen them. The one claim we do not make, we never say the word grow or any variation of it. Growing, growth, grow. We do not make a growth claim. We can legally say that it will promote visibly longer lashes, thicker, fuller, more defined lashes and brows. Here's how we're doing that. We're using multiple peptides. Your hair, for example, your eyelash is made up of 90-something% proteins in there, and the rest is basically water. And so peptides and amino acids are delivering these signals to create these peptides and these proteins that we need for that gorgeous eyelash or eyebrow. We're also delivering ingredients that help to, you know what? Before I tell you more about the ingredients, let me tell you about a couple of treatments, because I'm going to tie back in with the ingredients of how they affect these treatments. When we first launched this, I worried a little bit that people who were getting lash extensions or lash tinting or lash lifting, I always say the wrong word there, or microneedling, or some of these other procedures, I worried that they were feeling shamed or something. No, this product they're an absolutely excellent customer or client because they value how their lash and their brow works. And I'm going to tell you with the ingredients how it complements that. So let me explain each of those first. Lash extensions are when a technician will go in and they take a little bit of glue with a little fake lash and they anchor it into the base where your eyelashes are at, and you end up with these gorgeous lashes. Lash lifting is when it's kind of like a perm for your lashes, but not so spirally, right? It's where they it will wear off after about, anywhere from 4 to 8 months. Usually 4 months is the sweet spot, and it helps to curl that lash. So many of us use the mechanical physical eyelash curler where you clamp it for a few seconds and then it curls it. This is going to, for a little bit longer period of time, curl it, which can help your lashes look thicker and fuller. And then there's lash tinting, especially for people with lighter toned colors of their hair, where their lashes are really blonde or really light. This goes in and it's kind of like dyeing your hair, where you're tinting it a darker color so it shows up more. Microneedling is where you're going in and doing a semi-permanent, tattoo kind of, to fill in where those brows should be. So all of these procedures can be aggressive. For example, the curling and lifting, it's not bad. Curling it, that little perm or that dyeing of the lash, it's not bad, but it does use harsh chemicals that over time can cause your lash or brow to become brittle or dry or damaged. And just like swimming in the swimming pool is not bad, but it can cause damage to your hair, the same thing can happen to your lashes. So entering in our lash product, let me explain one other, I'll come back with ingredients. So, welcome in our Lash Plus Brow Serum to address that issue. How? We're using ingredients that are very nourishing to the eyelash and moisturizing to the eyelash and help seal in those ingredients that protect the eyelash. So when you're using those harsher chemicals, you're not getting as much damage. You're using that conditioner in there to help protect it and help soften it so it's not dry and brittle. Now, people who are using the lash extensions with the little glue that are gluing it in, or the other two procedures that I mentioned before, the more lash you have, the more your technician has to work with. We're using ingredients, specifically some ingredients like our biotin oil pentapeptide 1, and oh, there they are, thank you. That one, the myristic oil pentapeptide, the red clover and peptide, those specifically are going in. I'm like, oh, where do I get, I don't want to block your view of taking pictures. I'll stand right here in the middle. Those specifically are going in to strengthen the anchoring point of your eyelash. What does that mean? It makes it less likely that that eyelash is going to fall out sooner than it's supposed to, that you're maintaining it longer. We're going in to build up the eyelash itself and strengthen it so it's less likely to break off. Just like your hair can break off when it's become damaged from perms or dyeing the hair, your lashes can break off too. We're protecting against that. We're anchoring it in to make it stronger. We're conditioning it to make it healthier. Some of the ingredients like the larchwood and the Camellia sinensis, those are some of your conditioning, soothing ingredients that are in there that are going to calm that down. So you can see how through the ingredients and the science, we're going in to actually deliver those results we were talking about with the thicker, fuller lashes. Now, one of the things that I love is we took a whole year, 12 months studying the formulation. And in fact, we created multiple iterations, multiple formulations. I love that instead of competing with the competitors, we compete against ourselves because the competitors don't quite get to where what our minimum standard is. Let me give you an example of why, and then I'll finish the story about our multiple formulations. So there are some ingredients that for some individuals can be harmful. I am a product of the products, and I'm always looking at what's out there and testing things. And about 5 years ago, I tried a product that was all about lashes. I actually got me one, I got my mom one. My mom used it, no problem, she was happy. I used it, and it had an ingredient called prostaglandins in it. And I permanently discolored the skin underneath my eye. Can I tell you how devastating it is to use a product and have it irreversibly damage your skin? For the rest of my life, I will be trying to cover up that discoloration mark caused by this product. This is a clean formula, and that's why I say some we don't compete against the competitors usually, because they have ingredients that we would never allow that aren't a clean formula and that aren't safe and efficacious. So we instead compete against ourselves. We came up with multiple formulas, and what I loved was our scientists were like sweet, and like some of the scientists like one formula better, and others like the other formula better, but they put them into clinical studies and trials to see which one outperformed the rest. And this formula was the winner. This one delivered the longest visibly looking lashes, the fullest, the strongest, the most, all of our claims. This delivered more than any of our other formulas. I love that. Not only did we clinically validate ourselves, actually, let me get off on, how many more minutes do I have, Sierra? Sierra's gone. Okay, let me take a few more minutes then. I want to do a tangent that is really fun. So up here in these windows, you can see our labs. If you get a chance, go check out our labs. That is not normal. Like literally not, I don't get how that's not normal, but it's not normal. Well, actually, I do kind of get how it's not normal. Here's why it would not be normal. That window right over there is actually 2 labs. The one on the right is just that tiny little one, and then the one on the left extends into one of the bigger labs. That little window on the right, our smallest of our labs, over $2 million worth of equipment in the smallest of all of our labs. I know this because one day I was in there with our scientists and I bumped into one of the pieces of equipment and he was like, yeah, that was just about $1 million worth of money. Don't worry, you're fine. Get me out of this room. We have, because we're a science-based company, we have the ability to do these clinical studies, to do this testing that most companies don't have. Let me give you another example. literally in that same room with the smallest piece of equipment, I mean the over $2 million worth of equipment, there's one small piece of equipment in there that can test things up to the parts per billion. Now this isn't 100% accurate, but it gives you a visual. Parts per million would be like one drop in an Olympic swimming complex. Parts per billion would be like one drop in an ocean. We can test up to parts per billion, which is really expensive equipment. We once had a product that we launched that it was the first time we were going into this category, and we had vendors who were really excited that Nu Skin, a multi-billion-dollar company, was entering this category, and they were all like, pick me, pick me, pick me. We had a vendor come to us, they gave us the, they didn't realize this, but we demand a sample of their ingredients and the testing. So that was the surprise, but then what they also don't know is we go repeat the testing. And we were able to determine that the ingredient that they gave us was an adulterated ingredient. Meaning there's some ingredients that look like the real thing, smell, taste, etc. like the real thing, but they're actually easier to produce. They grow faster, more prolific, and so farmers or vendors can make more money substituting something that's almost like the purest form, but not quite. And so we were able to determine that this was an adulterated version of the pure form of ingredient that we required. So we went back to them and said, I'm sorry, you gave us false information and we won't be using you again in the future. So we had another vendor who approached us that we've used for years, and they said, here's the difference, because they know us, right? They said, okay, here's the ingredients, here's the testing, and the testing didn't show this, but they knew us, and they said, and we know the additional testing you're going to do, and you're going to discover something that nobody in the industry has been able to solve a problem. There are trace elements of fungicide in these products, and no company to date in that industry at that point in time had been able to solve that problem. So see how open they were with us, because they were so experienced with us over the years of knowing what we were capable of that nobody else. How many, I can't tell you what the product was, because then we never want to bash another company, but how many companies were in this industry not revealing this? And so our scientists get really, really excited about that type of thing. So they're like, sweet. So they went to town with all of these equipments and all of these labs, and they were able to find the way to remove those trace elements of fungicide and some trace elements of pesticide that were in there as well. And what this meant was eventually the competition figures it out. Anytime somebody comes out with new technology or new something, eventually everybody is forced to figure out how to get up to that level. And so what it meant was, within the next couple of years, all ships rose with the tide because Nu Skin entered the game in that arena. And so that's the type of science that is building these products. How did I get on that? Okay, Lash. Talking about we competed with ourselves and we developed this formula, and so when we were done with the testing, we had a formula that delivered the best results, and that's when we were able to come out and we started to provide samples even before the launch to a lot of our leaders. And we discovered something really important, a few tips that I want to share with you. Even us, a few of us internally, as we were taking our before pictures, because we always do before pictures and after pictures. And so we were taking our before pictures and after pictures, and some of them weren't turning out, and we discovered a few tips that really mattered. If you took the picture straight on, you couldn't really see the lash in the before or in the after. Also, our legal team was struggling approving anything because it's so hard to get stuff past our legal team. And so we went to, I think it was Amazon, and for really cheap, we bought these little white eye patches. And we put them under the eye, and then instead of taking the picture straight on, we tilted. Either way, you can tilt and you can get the right angle that the lash hits that white eye patch and you can see the lash really well. Our legal team loved that because it created a slate. Oh, I love this, thank you. It created a clean slate where you can see that before picture, you can see the lash very well. And you can see the same angle, the same against that white background in the after picture. You could really show off the difference. And we're able to create that more clinical environment that our legal team was like, okay, this is legit. These are the types of pictures you can get approved. So we recommend getting those little patches and make sure in the before and in the after you have the right angle that the lash is really hitting that white patch so you can really see it. I also recommend taking multiple pictures so that if one picture doesn't get approved by legal, you can submit the next one to get approved by legal. So if you've got 4 or 5 options, you've got 4 or 5 tries of legal. I also recommend sending in your before and afters. There's nothing worse than creating momentum and energy and having our compliance team come in and shut it down because they don't like your before and after. So send those in. You have multiple, you're gonna get them approved if you follow some of these tips. The other thing, no makeup when you send this into legal. If they see makeup, they're gonna be like, eh, because makeup could rig the results. And so no makeup, good angle, the little patches, take multiple versions that you can send in. Oh, there was one other thing that I really liked. I saw some people do, in addition to this with the white patches, I saw them do just more of a traditional without the white patches. They were harder to get approved, but a few of them turned out very well and they had a lot of fun sharing those on social media. Now you can see how easy that would be to share on social media. Guys, I just got a new product. I've been using it for a month. Look at my results. And your friends and family trust you. They see those kind of results, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Roz got those results? I know Roz, I'm buying that product from her. It's the best way to sell your products because you are the one that they trust and that they believe in. One last thing. We don't make any claims under 4 weeks. You may see results after just 1 week, but our clinicals start at week 4 to week 8. Week 8? I think it's week 8. No, week 12. So week 4 to week 12. So that's where we claim results. So 1 month is what you could. So if you were sending this into legal, you wouldn't say 1 week because legal wouldn't approve it. You want to make sure it's at least week 4 up to week 12, and then legal will approve it. So I just wanted to share all the tips to make sure you get your before and after pictures legally approved because this is powerful to share. So that is today.